Wow.
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 Another week.
Another $1.
Right.
Sorry if to anyone wondering whose sultry, sexy voice this is.
The way that you are putting it on
No.
is this is like you. The way you're like, oh, my voice is so deep now.
So deep.
But you're like, my voice is so deep. I can't believe I'm.
Well,
so
yesterday it was pretty raspy. Today it's well, first and foremost, let me just say on my way here, I was trying to take a picture and maybe I'll post it. But I was on my way to here and the subway made a stop, as they do.
Right.
And about 5 to 6 fire department trainees. You could tell it was the fire department because it was like fire department of New York City, but then it was like training or school, the fire department school.
Sure.
When I tell you, the hottest 5, like 6'2", all of them.
Right.
Different looks, blondes, dark haired, everything. Like it.
Dark hairs. No, just please continue.
Dark hairs. I'm a dark haired. Well,
I mean, it's bleach blonde.
Bleach blonde. And also, wait, I'll finish my story, but can I just say, it is kind of like a bit at this point or whatever. Like, I do wear a baseball cap here every day, but I just want to let everyone know that if you're watching, like, I do have a great set of hair. My hair is actually famously beautiful and gorgeous. If you go to @HeyPeru on Instagram and TikTok, mostly Instagram for the pics, check out the hair.
Great. Okay, so you took a photo. Fire Department of New York trainee.
They were all. It really was like it was like it could have been a Sean Cody or like a Cocky Boys video. Like the ensemble it gave from all of them, like it was giving porn actors.
Oh.
Like I saw them and I was like, there's no way this is not like they're going on set to shoot their like orgy scene, because it was like.
Well, have you seen those videos of those like OnlyFans creators who like make content on the subways at like 3 a.m.? Because that like.
What?
Have you ever seen those?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's like
Talk about Roman Empire.
Oh,
my Roman Empire
is OnlyFans.
Is OnlyFans.
No, I haven't come across anything like it recently, but there was a period in time where I was seeing a lot of videos just kind of like being suggested to me of these OnlyFans creators who, I don't know which train specifically they were riding, but they would ride the train at like 3 a.m. where it was like completely empty, there was no one on it, and they would fully film OnlyFans content on it, like fully like sucking and fucking on the train, which is crazy to me because, girl, we live in a surveillance state. Like there are cameras everywhere. Like you know what I mean? And also the fact, if you got caught, jail.
Yeah, but I mean, if you got caught by the police,
right?
You're not like, I mean, we know this. Like, they're not surveilling and just actively trying to look out for people who are getting a blowjob on the train call the cops and arrest them.
But in my position, like if I was in that position, I would be so I wouldn't be able to get horny because I'd be so nervous the whole time.
Well, you would be? You would never do anything in public?
No. I mean, the most public I've ever done was in a bathroom at that bar that you were at the other night. Yeah, last night. The bar that you were at last night. I
mean, we can say where I was last night because it's not last night anymore. It was Julius.
Yeah, well, Julius, I've sucked a dick at Julius before.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't?
Well, that was huge for me. Well, that was big for me.
That's actually a really big one for you, because for anyone who knows the Julius bathroom, it's actually one of the least private bathrooms. Like, the stall is like half a door. You can literally see, or if anything at all.
No, because there's 2 bathrooms. There's like the one that has like the stall in the
towards the front, and the one
I did the one in the back.
Oh yeah, well you can lock the door.
Well, it was like the single use, yeah.
Oh yeah, because you famously.
Did I tell you that story? Did I tell you that story?
Well, hold on. First of all, hi, I'm Pioneer Peru.
Hi, I'm Trailblazer Nick, and this is
Pioneers
and Trailblazers. We're a little low energy this week just because illness has been running rampant around the city. I have just gotten over illness, Peru, raspy voice.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we can like drop the facade. Like, the place of work in which we moonlight in has been getting exponentially busier as we are entering fall season again. And so my job, I guess, requires for me to do a lot of talking.
Overworked, underpaid.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Tired all the time. The weather's also yesterday was the autumnal equinox, so it's officially autumn.
Well, it was officially autumn 2 days ago.
Yesterday was the autumnal equinox.
Wait, yesterday was the first day of fall then?
Yeah, yesterday was the first day of fall.
Yeah, why didn't you say that?
Because it's called the autumnal equinox. That's like the official phrase.
Went to NYU this one, everyone.
I do have a degree. I do have a bachelor's degree in fine arts.
On my way here, I texted
arts.
you and I was like, "Are we imbibing?" And you were like, "Imbibing," and I was like, "Wow, that NYU degree really did nothing to you."
Sorry, my vocabulary is a little limited, but unfortunately, I didn't know what that meant. But
anyway, did I ever tell you the time that I was? Oh my God, the one guy who not last winter. Well, last winter, yes, but like this year in January, February, I met this guy on how did we even meet now? Forget. I believe we met on an app. But not Grindr.
Likely place for you to meet someone.
Likely. It was we met at a Tinder kind of situation, I believe. Actually, yes. And then we met for drinks at Boiler Room. And automatically just sparks fly, like Hillary Duff sparks. It was like that, and it was one of those things where he was a lawyer. He was just like my type. He was like scruff, really piercing eyes, great. Not a nice physique. Like you could tell he took care of his body, but not was overly obnoxious about it. And he had a great job, and he really liked the fact that I was a performer comedian. Like really was into that. We hung out for like 3 hours. Made out all night. That whole it was a Friday which we met. We were so obsessed with each other that we hung out the next Saturday, repeated the whole thing again, and then we hung out Sunday. Like we had a whole weekend rendezvous. And at that point I was like, oh my God, like this is it. Like finally. After
it's the one.
And like, with everything. And then we like got a little tipsy on that Sunday. And then he was like, let me walk you to the train. Like he was taking the one going downtown, me take one uptown. So we were going to the same station. And so this is that station of Broadway Lafayette, which is pretty big, where the BDFM is, it's like a huge station. And we're going down, and like it was like pretty empty, and we were getting like really frisky. He was getting really handsy, we're like just making out, just like in the train, like, nobody's watching. And then I was like, oh my God, like I kind of want to give you a blowjob. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. So I pulled him to the side of like one of like the empty spots of like the train station, and I legit give him a blowjob. Like
on the train?
Not on the train, but on the platform. On the platform. No, like like when you enter before you go downstairs to the platform, like the first level, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like all stations have like the first floor, and then you walk down the stairs underground where the trains are. Yeah. Right. We were on the first space. We're like right after you swipe or like you do your Omni.
Sure, but isn't that like more populated?
Yeah, but it was really. What I'm saying is like it was really empty. We were just trying to be like spontaneous, and I gave him a quick blowjob. And I was like, oh my God, we're being so crazy and well. And he really loved it. And he was like, oh my God, like what's happening? Like where have you been all my life? And I was like, I've been here.
And then what happened to him?
Disappeared.
After the blowjob?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He was just like, he got it and he's like, I'm done.
I don't know, because we never even had sex. And so like
but you were like so in love. Like that was your future husband.
That's what happened? Saying. I don't know what happened.
So you didn't text him? You weren't like, hey, what happened to you?
We texted after that night when I got home, because we always texted each other.
You were like, I sucked your dick on the train platform.
Yeah. And it was so funny because like, we would always text each other when we got home to make sure that we were safe, because he was looking out for my safety, and like he was famous for doing that. Like he always did that. It was such a him thing to do, to like make sure that I got home. Sure. And so he texted me, are you home? And I was like, oh my God, I just made it home. He was like, I cannot wait to see you again. What are you doing tomorrow? I was like, I'm around tomorrow. Let's do it. Let's go out again. Reached back out at 4 p.m. the day after. I was like, hey, just like I'm wrapping up with like my errands and stuff, so just let me know when you want to meet up. Never heard back. And I was at the stage this year in which I told myself I will never just continue doubling down if somebody doesn't respond.
Sure.
I'll give him the time to respond. He never responded. Not even like a week later being like, hey, sorry, like things were going on, like things are happening in my life. Never responded again.
The blowjob was that bad. You used too much teeth.
No. I just can't, like now looking back.
That is actually really sad. And
it is so sad because the connection was there.
No, yeah. And
it was reciprocated.
Do you think maybe like what do you think it was? Like, do you think like he had a boyfriend? Or do you think like he met somebody else?
I don't know, because we were talking. It just happened out of nowhere. So like something must have happened with him. Like either maybe he had a boyfriend or like I don't know.
He moved.
Maybe he died.
No, he could have fully just died.
He could have died. Like
and you would have no way of knowing.
I would have no way of knowing.
That is like.
Should I actually reach out? Should I text him right now? Oh my god,
girl, it's been over a year. 2
no,
years.
There was January.
Oh, this was in January.
So I'm telling you, it was this year, but last winter.
Okay. Wait, that's so crazy because
Wait, what was his name?
Yeah, you don't even remember. You're like, what's his number? I don't know.
Was it Griffin? Jacob?
Do not. Why you're gonna dox this whole man? Put his full legal name out on the.
Well, clearly I don't even know anything about him.
Yeah. No, that is like really sad that happened. Because I thought it was gonna be the route where like he didn't respond for like 2 weeks and acted as if nothing happened. Because that happens to me all the time, where people will. Specifically men, I'll hook up with them. They like make me think that they're in love with me, and then they are like, okay, let's hang out again. We make plans to hang out, and then don't text me for weeks on end, and then respond with, hey, how you been, girl? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you just like you disappeared for 11 days? What was I supposed to? You just want me to hang out and suck your dick again? Okay.
Yeah. This one was devastating because it really felt like it could have been something,
Yeah, that was husband material.
Yeah, because again, it wasn't like he tapped it. So like I don't know, maybe the blowjob was bad, but it's not. I mean, I'm really good at giving head.
Maybe it was just Boiler Room. Boiler Room. I have only been on one date there, and the rest in peace Boiler Room. But
yeah.
But I went on one date there my junior of college with this guy that I had met on Grindr. Actually, he had like hit me up, and then he bought my drinks the whole night. And did they always have a couch in that little section?
Yeah, in the back.
In the back.
Right in front of the restrooms.
Yeah, in front of the restrooms. Okay, yeah. So like we sat on the couch the whole night, and like
Lord knows what is happening on that couch.
Oh, bitch! So he got me drunk, and I was
for Nick. That means 2 drinks.
2 drinks. Yeah, no.
2 whiskey cokes.
No, two tequila sodas, two vodka Red Bull, like whatever. No matter what it is, I'm fucked.
Still, if you wanna hit on Nick, if you ever see him out at a bar,
buy me one drink.
Buy him a whiskey coke, because it'll let you know that you know his drink preference.
Yeah,
his just.
Well, I've been on the tequila soda train as of recently.
I'm glad.
I do love. I mean, listen, whiskey coke will die on that hill. Love her so much.
Yeah.
But I've been a little whiskeyed out this summer. I've been having a lot of whiskey. But anyway, so then this man, I was feeling very frisky. Was making out with him, whatever. He lived at the time. I was living in like Union Square in like the NYU dorms, and he lived in Sunset Park.
Oh,
which is far.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, you want to come back to my place?" And I was like, looked at the time, it was like 11. And I was like, I was like drunk enough where I was like, sure, like let's fuck, like I'll go back to your place. Didn't think it was gonna be that far, girl.
Wait, you went?
Yes. Well, listen, no, buckle up, bitch, because this is a story. So I fucking go to Sunset Park. I go to Sunset Park. This man, he's like 20. At the time, I was like 21, and I think he was like maybe like 24, 25. He lived with his gay uncle and his uncle's partner, which I was like, oh, that's really sweet. So get to the apartment. His gay uncle and his boyfriend are still up, like watching TV. They're like, hey, and I'm like, hi, so lovely to meet you. Like, okay, this is weird. Go to this man's bedroom. We start hooking up. Mind you, when I'm having sex, I like to have like a good time. Like I don't okay, as opposed to a bad time. No, but like it's gonna make sense because like I don't take myself too seriously during sex, if we're being completely honest. Like especially if like a person I'm comfortable with and I've spent like so much time with you, like I'm not gonna like be like take everything super seriously. And like if like I giggle sometimes.
Yeah,
okay,
famously you're like Is this on?
No,
joke?
hello, is it working? So we were hooking up or whatever, and then we were starting to have sex, and then he was trying to put his dick in my butt, and he couldn't, for some reason, like find my hole, which I was like, I don't understand like what's going on. We both were really drunk, but he kept missing my hole, and I just like started laughing because I thought that was funny. I was like, girl, my hole is gaping. She's like, ready, just put it in. And like he didn't seem to be bothered by like me, but I was like kind of giving some feedback, being like cracking some jokes, laughing a little bit. And then
every single man loves
that. Right. So then the sex is over. The sex was fine, whatever. And then he wanted me to spend the night. And I, at that point in time, and I still to this day don't really like to spend the night over at a hookup's apartment unless I really like you. Like unless like I'm really interested in like I've known you for a while. Like I probably like won't spend the night. I'll probably just go home because I would rather sleep in my own bed, especially if I have an early day the next morning, which I did. I had class at 8 a.m. the next morning, and like at this point,
was this like 2 a.m. already?
Oh, it was like 2 a.m.
Out of convenience, you should have slept.
Well, I should have just stayed. You thought?
Yeah. Sorry, I just burped.
We'll see. And that's what he said too. So he was like, oh, you want to stay? And I was like, I think I'm gonna go home. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, because it was still going to take me an hour, no matter what. It was going to take me an hour to get home on the train. I was like, I'd rather just go home now, wake up, take a shower, get dressed, go straight to class, instead of having to wake up, go all the way to my dorm, and then have to like shower, change, and then go to class from that. For me, that just made more sense. And also I was like, I have to get breakfast. So I was like, no, I was like, I'm just going to go home. And he was really offended. He was like really upset. And I was like, don't be upset. Like I'm like, listen, it doesn't mean that I'm not interested. I was just like, I'm just going to go home.
In which way? Like he was just like...
He was like, he just was like, you're really not going to stay? Like, what? Do you not have a good time? And I was like, no, like I had a really nice time, like whatever. And I made it very clear that I was, I had a good time and so, whatever. And so then I went home. I still kept texting him because I did like him. Like I was like, oh, I would hang out with him again, like go on another date or whatever.
Do some more practice rounds.
Sure. That weekend, I like had texted him a little bit or whatever. And then that weekend, I remember I was out at Stonewall with some friends and I received this text from this man, which was like this long ass text, basically just like critiquing me and saying like I was a bad person or whatever because I was like really rude and shitty because I laughed during sex. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. Like that was not my intention at all. Like that's just how I am as a person, like whatever. And he's like, well, how was I supposed to know that? How was I supposed to know that you're just joking all the time and like everything's like a big all like laugh thing? And I was like, sir, you're taking this thing way too seriously. Like, sex should be fun. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And then I blocked his number because he just kept texting me, like, really kind of, like, rude things, just basically calling me a bad person. And I was like, sweetie, what? I'm not going to hang out with you anymore if you're going to be rude to me like that. And then I didn't. And I did see him on Tinder the other day after, like, years.
Is he so cute?
Yeah, but now I know what he's like on the inside, so I'm like, ugly.
I mean, that happened to me recently when somebody like caught feelings way too quickly and like...
God, that's so hard. It must be so hard for you when people catch feelings for you.
Well, the thing is like, it's hard when it becomes a thing where like you're not a bad person actually, and you're trying to let somebody down easy or just be like, hey, like... some people just don't get the hints.
Oh, sure.
And like it's really tough when they start becoming really aggressive or just really invested, because then you're just like, I have no other choice but to just block you or ignore you or just completely, delete you from all social media because like you're just
crazy.
You're being crazy. And like it's like how bizarre it is, the whole sending a long text.
No, that is like actually like it was like an essay in which like he pointed out, and I will say like he cited like he cited specific things that I did. Like he was like called back to certain things, and I went, girl, who has that much time on their hands? And also like if that really pissed you off that badly, why do you want to hang out with me again? He said,
of course.
Because then after that he sent me that text, he's like, well now, I was like, well that's just how I am. He goes, well now we'll know for next time. And I was like, oh, no, I don't think there will be a next time, because that was like really kind of crazy and bizarre that you would send me a whole essay in which you critique me as a person and like the way that I interacted with you and how you didn't like it. So I'm like, you want me to change my entire personality and way of being so I can hang out with you and sleep with you? No! No, girl, that is brain worms in the brain for that.
And now, would I do that for another man who is the man of my dreams in order for getting to like me? Yes.
Well, if it was the man of your dreams, if he was really the man of your dreams, he would love and accept you for who you are.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that, like, I will absolutely change everything about myself, but I'll still keep it, like, Gone Girl cool. Like, I'm not gonna go, like, obsessed psycho on you.
No.
I'm just gonna internally change everything about me
in order for you to
fall in love with me if I'm getting the context clues.
And you will never know. You'll never know.
Never know.
And that's why I'm so grateful that I do have a BFA in drama, because I have learned how to inhabit a character and do it for a long time. I know how to I know how to put in the work.
Listen.
Okay? And thank you, NYU. Thank you, Tish Drama, for that.
Miss Tish.
Because I not to toot my own horn, I can
cry on command.
I can cry on command. I can do a very convincing performance. That's why I'm really bad at, like, telling little white lies. Like, if I really
tell us more, Nick.
Like, I'm ultimately a bad liar if it comes, like, if I had to, like, on the spot come up with a lie. But I watched a movie yesterday. This is so unrelated, but I watched this movie yesterday called The Vanishing. It's a Dutch movie from the 80s, and it was really good. It's on Criterion. Okay, brag, film cinephile. And it's basically about this man whose girlfriend goes missing, and then he spends 3 years of his life trying to track her down, but, like, it alternates between his perspective and then also the perspective of the man who abducted his girlfriend.
Ooh.
And the guy who abducts his girlfriend is, like, this little, like, professor who's very, like, meek and mild-mannered, and you would very unassuming, you would never know that he's, like, kind of this evil person. But the way that he, like, plots out, like, the little things he does in order to, like, lie and make everything seem super convincing, I'm like, girl, that's what I did in acting school.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching back to that and I was like, oh, girl, he would slay the Meisner technique. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Well, yeah. Without knowing, he's like...
Without knowing, no, he is, like, truly the performer of the century. So that was just really, it was just really interesting. So, like, if you really need to, like, if I really wanted to and completely redo my whole life and live like a lie, I could do it. It would just be really unfulfilling, I would say.
Ultimately, I will just say that I am very blessed then on my end to have not needed to go to school because I'm just naturally talented.
Mm-hmm.
Have taught myself how to cry on command since the age of 5.
Right.
I remember vividly one time whenever I got reprimanded at school for not doing any of my work or anything, that I made up this whole excuse and lie and this fabricated scenario about my family and, like, my mom being upset at my dad and, like, this whole thing telling my teachers, I made up this whole backstory and then doubled down when I got back home and just made myself cry on command to tell my mom that, like, something had happened at school and they were, like, bothering me and yeah.
No, whenever I wanted to get out of school, like, and have a sick day, like, as a kid, I would force myself to cry. So my parents believed that I was actually sick when I wasn't. I'd be like, no, like, you guys don't believe me. Like, I'm really, like, I don't feel good. And, like, as soon as I would, like, start doing them, the tears came out. My parents were like, oh my God, you need to stay home. Like, clearly there's something wrong.
For me, it's less physical, my lies.
Mm-hmm.
Mine will always involve some psychological, so anytime I would make myself, if I needed something, it would always involve, like, some, like, I've been feeling upset about this, and, like, someone made me feel this way, and I don't feel like I'm mentally able to do, like, it would never be like, hey, I'm sick, my tummy hurts. It would just be like, I just don't have it in me. Like, I had a really rough day on Friday. Like, Tiffany said this to me, and then we had the party on
Thursday. So you're just like a white woman in her 30s who has too much on her agenda. It's just as basically what you was.
Well, I am a white woman living in New York City, but not 30.
She's just like a woman who's trying to juggle and balance her, like, life, love, and career.
Absolutely. How does she does it?
And that was you at 11. That was you at, like, 11.
I've been prepping for this moment.
No, this is the role of your lifetime, mama.
Speaking of roles, the stories of the roles that I took on my most recent trip back down to DC.
The roles you took.
The roles I took. I've been holding on these stories for the pod because I've really been meaning to tell you. I don't know if anyone recalls from the previous episode or the two ago. I went down to DC and I had a very successful show run, but not a very successful sex showing.
Right.
So, God works in mysterious ways.
No, she does. She really does.
She really does,
She really
because
does.
she was like, let's bring her back down to DC and really prove herself. And when you're giving a second chance in life, you take it and you don't question it. And so I went down to DC and I was like, this time
I'm going to take 7 dicks.
and mama, not far off. Because I think in total, in those 3 to 4 days, I think it was a total of 6 dicks.
That is crazy.
But
nevertheless, she persisted.
Nevertheless, you know what, Elizabeth Warren, if you're listening, this is the story.
Could you imagine? She would never.
She would be like, I'm
Never.
glad that he took all the loads. But listen, I was so hyped to really take DC by storm. And I went down there. And now, as you remember, right before going to DC this second time, I guess third time around, I had shown you pics of this really hot guy who I had missed by like half a day. Beautiful, tan skin, like thick black hair.
No, he had a really nice beard and mustache.
Like a really tied beard, like tied curls, like really nice mustache, hair everywhere. Just like was giving hot, like giving. Oh, well, I don't know, like Aladdin-esque. Like if Aladdin had a scruff, like a thick scruff, like that kind of vibe.
Sure.
Well, I'm just trying to like describe like what he reminded me of.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh my God, I'm scheduling it with him. It's happening. He was really down, and I had a really nice hotel actually. So I was really excited to host. So I was like, I want them to come to my hotel and see like my fancy life and like all the Lavabo products everywhere. I was like living it up.
Well, also if you're at a hotel, just like have them come to you because it's so much easier.
It is.
Versus like going to someone's like apartment or house. Like
No.
also like
I'm not about to Uber in DC to go fucking to your busted ass fucking like dorm or whatever.
Also like also in any place that's not New York, when it comes to like hooking up, like I always get nervous because like going to someone's house feels so different than going to someone's apartment building. Like it just feels so much safer. I don't know, hooking up in New York than it does in like different cities.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know why. Which, girl, it's dangerous everywhere. But yeah, I would prefer to have someone come to my hotel. But that being said, whenever guys are visiting in the city and they're hosting in their hotels, I'm always like,
well, I judge it by the hotel. If they're like the standard, I'm like,
why? But that's like that one's easily accessible.
Yeah, but then I'm just like, everyone can get.
I've hooked up with somebody. I've hooked up with somebody in the room at the standard.
I guess so.
I told you about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was hot. He had a boyfriend though. It like pissed me off. He didn't tell me until afterwards.
This just literally. Okay, you know what? Let's get this backtrack.
Go back.
Okay, but anyway, so I was getting ready. I was ready to go. I had done all the deets. How like douched and everything. And by the way, I'm gonna tell this story again. It's not something I typically do, like have sex with 3 men back to back in the same night, but I did. And the reason why I did it is because the bar was kept getting lowered. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but after a really unsuccessful first run, in which I thought it was going to be a varsity experience, then I subsequently ended up having to do something right away after that. That would be like a JV experience, I guess you would say. And then right after that unsuccessful one, I needed to just have any experience to just make up for all the horrible experiences I was having.
So what happened?
Guy number 1. We're counting. Guy number 1.
The thick beard, the one that we were most excited for.
Most excited, the top player, hot, is going to get it. MVP. Was giving me all the great picks. Shows up, hot in person.
Thank God.
So, thank God. Looked great. Body was not body dysmorphying. Like it wasn't like giving like catfish. What I mean is like I'm just the
body term. Is not dysmorphying. me this morning when I woke up after I barely ate anything yesterday because I was kind of sick and I woke up feeling snatched. I looked at myself in the mirror. My waist. I was like, the body is not dysmorphying today.
I know that.
It's not dysmorphying.
Okay.
Can continue.
It was one of those where like he gets in and he was wearing like his like basketball shorts, a t-shirt, flip-flops, and socks.
Flip-flops or like slides?
It was slides.
Okay, that's a little bit better than flip-flops, yeah. But still like
but still giving like he literally just like, you know, like didn't really.
Was he like Mask? Was he like DL? Like what was the vibe?
Kind of, but he had all his face in his profile.
Right.
But wait, comes up. The first thing I smell is food. Like either he had just cooked dinner, or he had just done something, and it was like he had just cooked food, and I could smell it in his clothing.
What kind of food?
I would say spice driven.
Okay.
So I could smell like spices, like cumins or corianders or like curries. Like it was spices.
Yeah, you're like, this is not the coom.
I'm like, okay.
I'd be wanting.
I was like, all right, but like I was like, okay, sure. You know, maybe he just cooked. He gets in. He's like, hey. And I was like, great. And he was one of those that just wants to start as soon as he gets through the door. And I was like, oh, okay. Mama, the first red flag, bad kisser. The kissing was like the type of kissing that you do when you're like trying to suck on a lollipop, but his kissing was like this. Like it was just like he was just like going like this, like. And I'm just like this, but he just kept doing it so rapidly, and he just like kept like. Basically like just
eating your face,
lollipopping my fucking mouth, and I was like, what is happening? Like it's just, and I was like, oh, but he was so cute still, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him a chance. Maybe he's just a bad kisser, but everything else will be fine.
The kissing really informs the rest of the experience. Of course,
it always does. And there honest. I was just trying to fool myself into thinking what a fool believes.
Yeah.
So we get onto the bed, takes off his clothes, I take off my clothes. And then as soon as we get on the bed, he does this thing which I don't like unless it's done well. Do you like when guys spit on you?
When it's I agree. I only like it when it's when in context.
Yes, done in a hot way, maybe in the middle of sex, or like if you do.
This.
But hold on, save it.
Well, I was just a little anecdote. I was just here to say this guy that I had sex with twice that I was really into. The last time we had sex, I revealed that I would be open to him spitting on me, and he was like, "Wait, that's really hot. I'd be into that." And then he did, and I was like, "Ah!" It was really kind of good.
Oh, it was good.
And it was like one of those situations where it's like husband material, and then dropped off the face of the planet. He's not dead. I wish he was. That's the thing, is because I had to mute him on everything because I had to stop.
Wow.
I had to
thinking
stop
about him.
Yeah, because every time I saw something about his life or his friends or his career, it made me want to kill myself.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to kill me with his spit, but he was trying to do the whole, like, we were making out naked. We hadn't even gotten to sex yet, and he was like, open your mouth. And I was like, okay. And he does that thing. I don't even know it's a thing, but he just like got a loogie or like got spit gathered and then just like spat it into my mouth, and I was like, I am not into that.
No,
it wasn't even just like an OnlyFans moment where like they're fucking you and they're like just spit on you and this kind of sexy, it's just in the moment kind of thing. Like, no, he was literally just like, and you could tell that he was just trying to like hit some moves that he had seen somewhere, and it was not giving. And from then on, everything went downhill from there. He took off his pants. The dick was dysmorphying because in the pics it looked bigger than what it actually was.
That wide angle lens really be doing this, girl.
Stop, because when you come, I'm looking straight in the camera. When you come to see, or when we come to you and we see the dick, like, we know, like, we can tell that you're lying to us. And like, honestly, at this point, I might just start being like, okay, let's take a moment and acknowledge the fact that your dick is not the size that you presented. Just present the size that it is.
You pull up the photo side by side. You're like, I'm sorry, so so what happened?
So what happened here? Because it was not it.
Did you take a cold shower before you arrived?
And like, he was hard.
Oh, he was?
It must have been like about like 5.5 inches.
Oh. Compared to like, what did you think it looked like?
Like a 7.5.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Oh, particularly girthy. It wasn't giving. He really used a creative freedom on this one.
Wow.
So I was already there, and I was like, fuck. So once he did the whole spit thing, I was like, let me get this over with. So I was like trying to suck his dick, slurp, slurp. And then I was like, this is not even a fun dick. Like, it was just not what I was signing up for. Like, had I known this was what it was signing up for, then I would have been okay with it. I'm not dick shaming, but I'm just saying it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Wow. Okay, size queen.
So I'm trying to get it over with. He like puts a pillow underneath my butt to like level it to however he wants it. Like, he rims me, which was decent. and it felt good with the scruff.
No, I love getting my
yeah.
butt eaten when they got facial hair.
So I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere, honey. He kept doing the bad kissing thing. He kept doing the loogie thing. I was not into it.
The loogie thing is kind of it's actually really gross.
It was gross.
Like the only like if you're gonna spit on someone when you're having sex, it's like in the middle of sex and they're like choking you.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's when you can spit on me.
Or like spit on it on my butt, you know, like to like use it as lube or something like that, you know. That's kind of hot.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm like, just get it in. So I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so horny. I just like stick it in. I want you to fuck me just to get the thing moving. Mama sticks it in. As soon as he sticks his dick in me,
He comes.
No!
I hate when that happens.
And he keeps doing the like loogie inside of me. I'm like, oh yeah, like what? I'm sorry to say this, but what a waste of hot person.
No, well, that's the thing. Hot people. This is the thing. Hot people are usually bad at sex because one,
and the ones that are good are in porn. That's it. That's it.
No, that's
it.
Or those are the ones that are not in porn, but they're just like they can never be tied down. Okay, they're like, you know what I mean?
Kind of, but no. I just really feel like ultimately you're just a regular person unless you're hot.
Well, if you're hot and you're good at sex. Well, if you're hot and good at sex, you are either what in porn or two in a relationship.
I don't know even about that.
Yo, you don't know about that?
Because if you're hot and you're good at sex, like you're in a relationship, but like, what kind of relationship?
Well, because there's two. It's like either the people who are hot and they know it are bad at sex.
Yeah.
If you're hot and you don't know it,
this is a really hard topic for me because I've just been dealing about. Listen, if you're hot, just be hot and be a model. And like, don't pretend to be good at other things. Like, it really upsets me.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, because I am so sorry. And anyone who's a comedy girly who listens to this, like, I'm really fucking tired of seeing like these modelly hot people trying to do comedy and trying to do comedy podcasts. And that's all I'm gonna say. And I am not doxing anybody, but I'm just tired of seeing these.
I feel really offended. Because should I cancel this podcast then?
Listen, we're hot people in a different way, but like, there's this. I've been seeing on the feed, and I'm not gonna disclose who, but they're out there. These comedy, quote unquote, people who have a podcast, have a thing, model guy, model girly, model whatever, and they're not really that funny.
Model non-binary,
but they're not even that funny. But they're getting the views and the likes and the comments because they're hot. And recently they've been doubling down on the whole thing, like doing like I don't even want to disclose too much because then people will definitely know who I'm talking about.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
And I'll show you after the
okay,
recording.
wait, actually I do. I want to know.
I'm just sick and tired. If you're hot like that, you just don't stay in your lane. Don't do comedy, because everyone's gonna just be laughing or just wanting to engage with you because you're hot. So you'll never have an objective point of view as to whether you're funny or not. And let me tell you, breaking the news to you, you're not that funny. So I'm just saying that.
Oh my God.
And here, I'm willing to say, I said it on my Instagram stories recently. I am a beautifully thankful and humble 7.5 in New York, and I'll take that. And like anything above an 8 or 8.5, go to modeling school, be a model, go do something with your hotness, because stop trying to fucking dabble in other people's lanes.
Wow. Wow. She's mad.
I'm pissed.
Damn.
I'm pissed.
Okay, so he was he's bad. So he's bad.
He was bad. So gets awkward afterwards, because I mean, somebody, I'm sure he knows also.
Did you finish?
No.
Oh.
This is why I had sex with 2 other men after him, because I couldn't yak my yum. Is that a saying?
The saying is don't yuck someone's yum.
Oh. Well, whatever.
So that's not really related to this.
Okay, well, I couldn't get it. Going.
Sure.
I was still hard, because I always am, and I don't like seeing bottoms getting fucked who are soft. Sorry, another thing that I hate. I don't. If you're a bottom and you're soft while you're getting fucked, there's something's going on. Unless you're like getting caged, if that's your like control thing for BDSM.
Okay, some of us just have our focuses on our butthole when we're having sex and not our dick. I'm pretty soft when I get fucked.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me actually clarify this too.
Like, wait, actually, you know what? I take it back.
No, I'm not taking it back. I still don't. I'm saying in the context of like when I'm watching porn, if the bottom is soft, to me, it registers as the bottom is not enjoying himself. To me.
That's not true.
To me, personally. Because...
You're projecting. You're projecting.
Anytime maybe I'm projecting then. And I am. And so what? Project fest. I am always hard when I'm getting fucked. I have never been soft. In my life, Nicholas Rosenthal, I have never in my life not been hard when I'm getting fucked. As a matter of fact, as soon as I start kissing a man, I get hard. I get hard seeing a man.
The thing is like I'm hard throughout all of it, and then as soon as the dick gets in my butt, I go soft. Cause like I'm focused on like the sensation of my butthole. Like I'm the most hard I ever am during sex when I'm sucking dick.
You keep telling me that.
Yeah, like I get really off on that. Like that really turns me on.
Okay, well, if that's your thing, whatever. I'm just saying, like it doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Okay.
You're just a hater.
Okay,
fine.
good.
Continue. Continue your story.
Right. Okay. Guy number 2. Smelly food guy with the slip-ons leaves. Wanted to reschedule for the next day because he really liked it, and I was like, sure. Leaves, and I instantly go on Grindr, being like, I need another date.
You're like, please, someone help me.
Someone hits me up. This other guy, the couple photos that he sent were cute. And I was like, okay. Saw a couple dick pics, and I was like, all right. He's like, I'm actually just walking by, or like I'm around the area. I was like, all right, come on over. Comes in, wearing glasses, which weren't in the photo. But I was like, okay, cool. Didn't look as cute as his pictures. But at that point, I was like, all right, let's do it. He looked nice. Really awkward. Oh. Went actually to meet him in the lobby because I didn't want the front desk to be like back to all these like men coming in. So I was like, I'm just going to go meet him, grab him. He was being really awkward. He was like, yeah. He just kept saying, to be honest. And I was like, what's happening? We get into the room.
Well, he was being honest. That's what was happening. Honesty was happening.
Well, honesty is about to happen because we're kissing, and he's like, he stops in the middle of kissing. The kissing was subpar, and he's like, to be honest, I just had McDonald's, and I can taste the food in my mouth. And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, I can taste it. And maybe he was self-conscious about like me tasting the food, but I was like, no. So then we keep kissing, and then he stops again. He's like, I'm so sorry, but I just like. I can feel the food. Like I can feel the food in my throat still, to be honest. Like I feel like I just.
Okay, then drink some water.
And I was like, okay, do you want something? I offered him water. He was like, I'm good. He's like, I actually like, to be honest, I just came back from Trade, this bar in fucking Washington. And he goes like, and to be honest, I'm kind of tipsy right now. And then I started realizing, mom is wasted, just chowed down McDonald's, and just drunkenly like was on the way home and just like stumbled upon my profile and wasn't really intending on fucking, but just like drunkenly came into my fucking hotel. And now I'm just realizing it because he was just like, didn't really have clear vision. Like he wasn't really like full. He was just drunk.
What time was this at?
Like 12:30.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh no. And then I started getting concerned because I was like, is he going to get sick? Like, I don't know. And then he was like, I just need to lay down for a second. And I was like, okay. So we both literally laid down, like just laid down, like, next to each other on the bed. And, like, he, like, puts his hand over his eyes. And
the
like,
way that
like,
this has been a situation I've basically been in before.
Oh. And he's like, oh, to be honest, my head's spinning right now. And I was like, I quickly was just like, listen, we don't have to do this. I was like, don't worry, just, you can go home. It's okay. Like, we can try this some other time. And he was like, yeah, to be honest, I think that'd be the best idea. Grabs his things. I was like, oh, blah, 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 small talk. Push him out. Traumatic. Oh, and he couldn't get it up because I tried giving him sucking his dick and he couldn't get it up. And he was like, to be honest, like, I'm kind of drunk. Let's do that. Resort to a third person. I'm desperate.
I would have given up.
I was just ready to just get fucked. Found a third person. I honestly at that point I was just like, sure. Like,
let's do it. Yeah.
This one guy who was like, was random guy comes. He was like, oh, today's my birthday. And I was like, great. Like, wanna come load me up for your birthday? Like, sure.
Like, happy birthday. Let me give you a present.
Oh
my whole.
God. Comes in. It was like Catfish Central. Like, the photo must have been from 4 years ago. Like, he just looked really bad, and I was like, I have to go through with this.
Sweetie, this is why when the first 2 times fail,
Yeah.
we should take that as a sign from the universe that it's not gonna happen.
He did end up fucking me. He had a decent dick. He just definitely wasn't someone I was attracted to, but I was
I want to see what he looks like after this.
I'll show you. But I was like, I guess I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna make his birthday.
Yeah. You look at his license. He lied.
Came really quickly. I couldn't come. At that point, I was like, no one's really doing it for me. And I felt really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did this thing that I never do, that I could tell that the guy was like into me. I don't know. This might make me sound like a douchebag, but I'm sorry. I was just trying to get it out, to get fucking my nut. I never asked guys to give me a blowjob, but after he came and he was getting ready, I was still so horny. He was like, well, thank you for that. And I was like, before you leave, do you want to suck my dick? And he was like, absolutely. He got on his knees and started like ravishing my dick. And I was like, all right, well, this is nice. And then I was like, should I come? But then I was like, I don't know. Like, I never really do that. And I felt really out of place the whole night. I was just like, what am I doing with my life? So I didn't come.
Wait, so he sucked your dick and then you were just like, what? Stop?
I was like, thanks. And then I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, it was such a douchey thing to do. Like, I just made him suck my dick for like a few minutes. And then I was like, all right, thank you. Like, it was just.
Oh my God, that is so strange.
I know. And then, but listen, the whole night was strange.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a fucking 10, ended up being like not. And so he left. I laid there in my fucking hotel by myself, jerked off. Like, and then the day after, before, like in the middle of the afternoon, this like daddy came over and he fucked me in front of the mirror. He wanted me to wear my boots. Again, the DC dolls are not showcasing their dicks the way they're supposed to, because the pictures are not picturing, and whatever. It was just sad.
So we are starting to GoFundMe for Peru. For all of the emotional damage that he went through. So please, link in bio. Please donate.
Please, if you're out there and you're in New York City and you want to just show the fucking DC dolls how you really do it, hit me up. Fuck me good. Fuck us good.
Well, that's funny that you bring me into this, because no, don't fuck me good. I haven't been very horny recently.
We've like really are not thinking lately. Like, you go through your face and then I go through my face and like,
and we kind of like swap on and off. No, because I've mostly just been in a phase where I'm now just like angry at men altogether. Like, I'm just kind of like, for context, I recently, this Mercury retrograde that we just had recently did bring back a lot of people from my past who I was sexually connected to and also romantically linked to in some regards. And all of these people have done me incredibly dirty. And so I've mostly just been in a state of anger towards men and been like, I'd rather just not touch one with a 10-foot pole for the time being.
Yeah.
And then anytime I do get horny, it's never like I'm horny, but I'm never like, oh, I need to have sex. It's like, oh, I'll just go home and jerk off.
Well, sometimes I feel like sex really works as an outlet of like stress for me too, you know?
Oh,
you know,
sure.
I think a healthy sex life for me has also resulted in me just being able to let go of some anxieties and stress. Mm-hmm. And so particularly when the sex is good, you know, and ultimately, like, I feel like at the end of the day, I have reached a place in my life where I'm mature enough to like really be able to differentiate like when I'm having sex and then when I'm romantically interested in someone, because after everything I just said, including the fact that I just back to back had sex with 3 men who completely did not fulfill me, it filled me. I am ultimately a romantic.
Right, of course.
And I'm also a monogamous person. Like, I want to be in a monogamous relationship, and I am ready to love, and I'm ready to give. But in the meantime, while I look for that, I love to get pounded out.
Sure. Yeah. No, me too. Sometimes I just like, it's just, I don't know. It's so strange that I've just been so not anti, but I've just been so like, I don't care. Like, I guess I will tell this story because I honestly don't give a fuck anymore. But this guy that
I guess we're close to wrapping up. But.
Yeah, we're close to wrapping up. But this guy that I used to fuck like a year ago, I thought he was way more into me than he actually was.
Is this what you told me?
Yeah, okay. But I didn't tell you what I did.
Oh.
I did something kind of, well, maybe I did tell you this, but I did something kind of, so like last summer, it's like summer of like 2022 was kind of like when I was seeing this guy, and like he would come into my apartment and be very kind of like would act very boyfriendy towards me. And so, and I was just, and we would just kind of like hook up and have sex and stuff, but we talked all the time. He would call my place of work when I was working just to chat or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so he's like in love with me. And then it kind of just like fizzled out and like whatever. Cut to February of this past winter, so February 2023.
When I was sucking dick in the subway.
Well, I'm sucking dick in the subway. A month later, I was at work, and this man hits me up, and he was like, I hadn't talked to him for a couple of months at that point, and he was like, oh my god, hey, and like I was like, hey, and we caught up, and we're just chatting, and he's like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, I'm at work, and he goes, would you want company afterwards? And I was like, he's kind of done me dirty before, but he's so sexy, and the dick is good,
and they know it.
And the sad thing is, this man knows it, and so he was like, I can meet you at work, and then we can take the train when you're done, and then we can take the train back to your apartment, and I can spend the night. And I said, okay, honestly, that sounds perfect. So I texted him the subletter that was at my apartment at the time, and I was like, hey girl, I'm gonna have a man come over, and she's like, okay, don't worry about it. And so then I got out of work early, and so I went and got some dinner, and then I texted him. I said, hey, got out a little early. I'm going to get some food right now. Let me know when you're on your way. Then it's like 11 p.m., which is like when I'm supposed to be finishing. So I'm staying outside of work, and I'm going to wait for 15 minutes to wait for a text, because he still hadn't texted me. Because I texted him and said, hey, let me know when you're on your way. Does not respond for 11 days. And all he says is, hey, how's it going? Completely don't respond to that. And then a week later or something, I had made a TikTok about it because I was pissed. I was like, bitch, you literally made me wait around for like how long? You were like, I'm gonna come over, like we can hang out, like all this stuff. I was like, why would you do all of that to then what? Just like randomly ghost me? So I made a TikTok about it, and it went kind of viral. And then he sent it to me, and he was like, finally, you made one about me. And I was like, bitch.
Oh my god, yes, you've told me about this guy. I'm going to Nick.
No, but so then anyway, so then I was like, fuck you. I didn't respond to that. So then cut to like a couple of weeks ago, he follows me on Twitter. I posted a picture of myself on Twitter in which I look really good, body looking right. Like it's a photo of me shirtless. Okay, for context, he likes the photo and then immediately DMs me after liking it, being like, "Hey, oh my god, how have you been?" I don't respond for days, and then I do respond, and then basically he's just trying to like do the same thing, be flirty, try to hook up, whatever. And I let him have it. I basically am like, hey, you were really rude to me. If you say that you want to be my friend, because he was like, I just want to be friends who have casual sex. And I was like, okay, well, we could do that, but a friend would not ask to meet up and then not respond to me for 11 days. Or whatever. And then
a friend would communicate.
A friend would communicate. A friend would be like, hey, sorry, something came up, whatever. Or would apologize or would do something. And then his response to all of that was, oh, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I'm sure that didn't boost your confidence.
Garbage.
I was like, bitch, fuck you. So
garbage.
Anyway,
you're garbage. You're probably watching this actually.
No,
okay,
he probably is. So anyway,
and I'm gonna tell you, I hate you. If you fucking fuck with my friend Nick again, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Okay, I don't hate him, but anyway, so last week I was on Sniffies, and I was in a neighborhood that is not my own. And just so happened to be the neighborhood he works in, and he had hit me up, and my face isn't on my Sniffies profile, and neither is his, and so he sent me his like face photo and like his dick pics or whatever, and he was like, hey, and I went, oh my god, look who it is, and he was like, who the fuck is this? So I was like, bitch, it's me, and he goes, oh my god, hey, and so I kind of was like flirting back a little bit. I was getting kind of like getting a little saucy. No, you're gonna live. So then we were chatting on Sniffies or whatever, and he's like, no, like we should like really hang out sometime, like we should like really do something. And I'm like, oh yeah, like maybe we can. Like honestly, I've been like really horny. Like I've been thinking about your dick, thinking about you, like blah, just like pulling shit out of my ass. So then Friday is the day of Peru's show, Unpopular Opinions, and earlier that day he had messaged me and he was like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see a show, but then after that I don't really have anything going on. And he was like, would you want to come over afterwards and would you want to fuck? And I was like, yeah, daddy, want your dick so bad.
I'm dying.
I was like, yeah, I want it. And then go to Unpopular, but then mind you, a part of me was like, majority of me was like, I can't have sex with him. Was like, as much as I want to, because he's so hot, and like we have the chemistry that we have is I don't know. I can't describe it, but I know he is bad for me. Like, ultimately, he is bad for me. And I was like, bitch, you cannot have sex with him.
He's a John Hamm character in Bridesmaids.
No, truly. But I was a little horny. Like, when he was sending me his dick pics, I was like, wait, I am a little bit horny thinking about you. Like, like I've had sex with you before, so I know it would be good. But, like, you'd hurt my feelings. But we made plans to have sex. I have not responded to him since Friday. I was like, bitch, that's what you get. That's what you fucking get. Because
Cute Paramore.
No, truly. Well, so he and then I opened up Sniffies a couple of days later just to be like, oh, did like he message me? And he did message me, and he's like, I've been waiting for you. And I'm like,
great,
girl, great, good to know. Cause guess what? You're gonna be waiting for a while. Cause bitch, fuck you. So yeah. So sometimes you have to take karma into your own hands.
Yeah.
And girlies and gays, if a man is treating you really poorly and he only wants you for sex and then doesn't talk to you for weeks on end, pull that shit on him and don't give him what he wants.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yes, I did play petty. Yes, it was really petty of me, but you know what? It needed to be done.
Sometimes people need to be taught.
They need to be taught a lesson.
Yeah.
And will he learn from this lesson? Probably not.
No.
But do I feel better? Way more like I've accomplished something? Do I feel confident? Do I feel empowered? Yes. So, yeah.
Good for us.
Yeah.
Look at us being independent women.
Strong,
independent women. Living it out there.
Letting men have it.
I guess to wrap up, do you have a Trailblazer?
You go first. What's your pioneer?
What's your Trailblazer?
I don't... I was gonna say I can't do myself again because I did it once for a previous episode, but I am proud of myself for letting that man playing that man in a very petty way. But if I really had to pick, I would say my Trailblazer for the week would be the 2 delivery men from DoorDash yesterday who delivered my meals in the middle of a rainstorm. Because I was so ill yesterday. Like, I literally could not stand up. Like, I was so fatigued. My body hurt. I had a horrible migraine. I couldn't do anything. I didn't leave the apartment all day. And I was desperate for food. And I have to go grocery shopping. And so I was like, I have to order something. I was like, I just have to, whatever. And so I felt very bad. I tipped. Yeah, I hope you tipped generously. I tipped generously. Okay, if you're making DoorDash delivery, people go out in, like, weather that is rain, wind, whatever, make sure that you're tipping them because, girl, that's a lot of work.
Also, if your response to that is like, well, I'm not making them do anything, it's their job. Well, if you want to go pick up the food yourself,
go do it.
But if you don't want to go out there for X, Y, or Z reasons, it means that you don't want to do it, so you're actually paying somebody else to do it for you. And if they're doing it in specific weather conditions, fucking tip more than 20%.
Yeah, so I tipped, and they both were very, very sweet, very nice, and they brought me my meal. And then so those are my Trailblazers. I don't remember their names because unfortunately the names that were given were not on the DoorDash, were not their names, because they were for some reason the names that they were given were like women names.
Oh,
so I'm like, I don't know who's,
maybe they're doing it for somebody else.
They might be doing it for somebody else. Yeah. But anyway,
which I guess we're not blaming.
No, I'm not blaming. But I was like, I was fully expecting a Monica to show up, and it was a man. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, cool.
But also, it could be Monica.
No, they could be Monica. But it was
wow.
It was a situation where it was like the first person was like Cecilia, and then I was like, and then it was like this really like butch man on a bike. Cecilia and Monica. So anyway, so Cecilia and Monica, I know those are not their real names, but those are my Trailblazers of the week.
I guess my pioneer. Oh fuck, I don't even have one. My pioneer, honestly, the fall. I love the fall.
The autumnal equinox.
Famously, I am a fall and winter girly. I've never been a summer girly again because of body dysmorphia. But I've loved the fall and winter, and it is my season. And it's just my time to just wear layers and just look, fabulous.
Yeah, no, I'm
except today.
I'm not really a summer girly either, but that's because astrology.
Yeah.
Like my 12th house is in Leo, so like whenever it's like the summer and like whenever
barf.
it's like just like it's always introspective and like internal, and I always like feel depressed.
Anyway, this has been our show. Please, if you haven't done so, listen. Please help
October
us.
10th.
Thank you, by the way. P.S. We did post about this, but I've added all the numbers, and it is over 600 people that collectively watch us on YouTube, listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, follow us on Instagram, TikTok. So
Well, more by now.
we get more by now, hopefully. So that's really cool and nice. But the only way to really continue getting other people to see it, please just go on there, rate it, leave a little review on Apple Podcasts, leave a comment if you're watching.
Tell your friends.
Yes.
Recommend us to people.
Share a video. And honestly, like, the cool thing is, like, sometimes people are just like, oh, like, sharing or whatever. But I'm like, sometimes you can just share the video to your friend via text or something. You know, it's like you don't even have to like publicly share anything. I'm just saying these are all the free ways you can help us get some traction.
Right.
You know what?
It's
Why are you
free.
laughing?
It's free. You should be doing it for us because it's free.
It's free. Yeah. This entertainment is free for now.
I hope not for much longer.
Well, we're gonna continue doing this for you because we love you. Thank you for your support. 3 shows coming up. 2 Pioneers and Trailblazers. October 10th at Brooklyn Art House. Link, it will be in the bio by the time you see this. November 10th, Friday, part of New York Comedy Festival at 7 p.m. Lineup for both shows to be announced. Licks in the bio.
Links.
Anything else you want to plug? I have a Popular Opinion show coming up November 18th, for which I will be posting the links for this too by the time this drops. That's just for me personally. Wow.
I don't have anything. I'm what do I want to plug?
Your accounts.
Oh, Twitter, clownface bitch. TikTok, clownface binge. Instagram, nicholas.rose. I've really been kind of I was in a flop era on TikTok recently, and we're coming back. We're on the up and up.
Oh, you're back. The last couple of videos have been back again.
Like, no, we're on the way back. We're back to making. We're feeling funny again. I was feeling very unfunny for a period of time, but that's because of lots of change happening in life and a deep depression. But we're out of it. Well, we're not out of it, but like
we'll forever be in it.
We're pushing through. Pushing through. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Love you.
Bye.